This is the Variety Show 2024. Well, I guess it's not too early to start talking about 2028 presidential politics 4 years from now. And on the Republican side, the new vice president, J.D. Vance, many are saying is the strongest already, saying that he would be the strongest person for the nomination for the Republicans in 2028, that J.D. Vance he's done very well. And they thought that the debate that they had last October with Vance and Tim Walz from Minnesota, that he was masterful in that debate. He was masterful. And he did a better job uh, than Trump did in his debate with Kamala. J.D. Vance actually was the better performer. And he's half Trump's age. He's only 40 years old. He's a millennial. He's the first millennial vice president. I believe he's the youngest vice president in history. So he's a rising star, a best-selling author, and so forth. And it's amazing how well he's doing since Trump picked him for vice president. Like J.D. Vance is on his way, and it's amazing how well he's doing. I never would have believed it. I never would have thought J.D. Vance would be um, like the biggest thing in politics. I never thought he'd get picked for VP. I never thought we would see him rise like this. I thought maybe Ramaswamy or somebody else, but J.D. Vance seems to be a big star for 2028 already. And it's not too early to start talking about it either. And they're going to be grooming him over the new Trump term. They'll be grooming J.D. Vance because Trump is already a lame duck. He's almost 80 years old. He's clearly not going to run again in 28, and I don't think he can either. So that's very interesting. But here's an even bigger surprise is on the Democrat side. They're talking about, they don't have anybody really exciting, and the Democrats are desperate. And this is just something I was thinking, being that Liz Cheney is practically a Democrat, they should really, if Liz Cheney would just become a Democrat, that would probably be their person. The Democrats should adopt Liz Cheney, and it should be Liz Cheney should become a Democrat, and she could be the nominee for the Democrats in 28. But because she came out there endorsing Kamala, and then on top of that, Joe Biden, before he left office, gave her a Presidential Medal of Freedom. So she's full-fledged pretty much a Democrat at this point. If Liz Cheney just became a Democrat, she'd be perfect to get the nomination for the Democrat Party. They could just embrace her because she's pretty much a Democrat at this point. But really, the bigger surprise is Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. And Mark Cuban came out in Wisconsin and did a campaign event for Kamala Harris. And he just does not like Donald Trump. And I think it's personal that he just does not like him. That I can't believe that as a very skilled businessman that he really thought Kamala Harris was the better candidate. I don't know if he really believes that Kamala Harris was the better candidate, or does he just have this thing with Trump that he's competitive and he's jealous of Trump? I don't know what it is with him. But actually, the Democrats are talking about Mark Cuban could be a nominee for the Democrat Party, which is interesting because Mark Cuban is the Democrat version of Donald Trump, is Mark Cuban. That's really what he is. He's on reality television, on Shark Tank. He's all over social media. He's got like a big type of personality. He is a billionaire and has multiple businesses, very successful, very good at that, developer. So he's got a little bit of the Trump type of background. He's not a professional politician. He's never held elective office. So he's the Democrat version. The Democrat version of Donald Trump is Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban would make sense that something different. He's not a professional politician. So Mark Cuban would make sense that maybe they would go with him for the Democrats. Actually, he kind of looks like Clark Kent's Superman with his glasses on. If you look at Mark Cuban, he kind of reminds me of Clark Kent from Superman. That's kind of what he looks like to me. He looks like Superman, Clark Kent. but he's a interesting figure, interesting personality. He has an engaging, somewhat likable personality, but he's nuts. He's just nuts. He's nuts. I mean, the fact that he actually went out for Kamala Harris the way that he did, I can't believe, you know, that he did that. So, uh, but that's interesting. I mean, could you have a two-way race between J.D. Vance and Mark Cuban? Now that would be an interesting race. J.D. Vance versus Mark Cuban in 2028, less than 4 years from now. That would be very interesting. So you can leave me your comments on this, The Friday Show 2024.